I would describe myself probably first and foremost as an entrepreneur, because perhaps what I'm most proud of is I've developed lots of talent within my businesses, which have gone on to allow me to start other businesses, which is great. I definitely would describe myself as that, primarily because I've always found right from the get-go of starting a business that I needed clear goals from which to aim for in order to work out what exactly I was going to do to get there. So without a clear goal in mind, I don't think I would even know where to begin to break that down into the stage that I need to take to get there. So right from the start, we set out with an ambition to be best new agency in 2 years and best agency in 5. And we were actually best agency in the first year, and we got to being best agency in the UK in the first 5. And without setting that plan down in the first place, I know we would never have got there. Well, we actually started at the end of the journey in our mindset and worked our way back. So in our minds, we wrote we may have even actually drafted this, actually looking back on it, but we wrote out what our winning award entry would say about us as a business if we were winning Agency of the Year. And we went from there to actually think about, right now, what do we break that down into in terms of initiatives that we want to deploy to actually get us on that journey and to achieve it. And so we set very clear KPIs on the way from which we measured ourselves, and so every quarter we would track our KPIs, our business KPIs, and so we would always know who we were veering off course at all, and those KPIs crossed every aspect of the business, from HR through to new business to finance. Do you know what, actually it was okay, but I don't think I'd certainly say at that point in my journey I should have been absolutely elated, and given how hard we'd worked to get there, I was incredibly blasé about it, even a little bit deflated, because at the point that we won that award, as a fantastic achievement it was, I actually didn't know from that point quite what I wanted to do next. It sort of I'd been chasing it for such a long time that once we got it, I felt a little bit like, okay, well, what now? And I had a great conversation with a friend of mine at the time who talked to me about the importance of setting your goals in a very fixed manner and not placing your ambitions onto the horizon. Because what he explained to me is when you do that, as you work towards your goal, you can find yourself pushing it off further on the horizon. As you step forward, it moves away. And by having very clear planted goals and a succession of those, you can move through each goal and celebrate and enjoy that goal as you go. And from that point on, I sort of really learned a lesson. You have to have goals. I set goals now in a much more holistic fashion. So I used to think primarily about work, but now actually, and I feel this is particularly as a woman with a family of 3, I've got 3 young kids, getting older now, but live in 2 destinations, an awful lot going on in my life, several businesses. It became really important to consider the whole me in terms of what I wanted to achieve. So from that perspective, I set now goals for myself on a personal level as well as a professional level, and I try to keep those all in balance. As a mum, as a daughter, as a sister, as a wife, they're all important to me. It's important to be, a success, if you like, in all of the areas of your life. I think that's what we all aspire to. We did a training session once, quite a long time ago now, and it taught me a really valuable lesson, and that was to sit and write your own epitaph for how you would be viewed at your funeral by all of the people that are important to you in your life. And so I wrote my own epitaph as though it were for my mom, for my sister, for my husband, and thought about what it would be that I would want them to say about me. And it was a fantastic process, because actually by going through that, it made me realize where I was being successful at that time and where I wasn't, and where I wasn't putting enough energy and purpose around it. And it changed my perspective, and now every year I write myself goals across that spectrum of sort of personal stakeholders, if you like. I was making some notes on things that we want to spend our time doing next year, trips I want to take with the kids, thinking about how I wanted to portion my week up, because every year that the businesses change, the company grows, maybe there's another company in the mix. I have to think very, very carefully about how I'm going to portion my time. So how you spend your time as you get busier becomes ever more important. I think it's more than okay. I think it's imperative. I think if you don't know where you're going, you've got absolutely no hope of getting there. You have to be on a journey, and you need to be very clear in your own mind about what that journey looks like, how you want to get there, and what you want to be able to experience and enjoy along the way. It's only by having a clear goal, a clear destination, will you ever have a hope of arriving at it.